Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to our biology class. So now we are discussing the topic hormones, and we were already started that. So what are hormones? Hormones are the chemical substances that are produced inside our body, and it controls and coordinates the activities and also growth inside in our body, right? And the hormones are produced, and it moves to where the action is required, and there occurs the life processes, right? So it controls and coordinate all the life processes that is taking place inside our body. And hormones are also termed as the chemical messengers of the body. It moves to where the action is needed, from one place to another place, from the place where it is secreted, and it moves to the place where its action is needed, right? And we know that there are two types of glands, exocrine glands and endocrine glands in our body. We know that exocrine glands are the duct glands, or the glands that have ducts for their secretions. They will secrete into the ducts. For example, the salivary gland secretes saliva into the mouth. Similarly, the digestive enzyme is secreted from the digestive gland into the digestive tract. Like that, there are ducts present in exocrine gland. And coming to endocrine glands, they are otherwise called a ductless gland. They are not having the ducts. So, directly into the bloodstream, they produce their secretions. For example, pituitary glands, ovaries, testes, all these are the endocrine glands. Okay, and we know that mainly the hormones are secreted by the endocrine glands. And next we have studied about the role of hormones in reproductive functions. We know that there occurs many changes during the period of adolescence, and the reproductive phase during which the male and female are able to reproduce is mainly due to the action of hormones. The reproductive features will occur in the body of females and males due to the action of hormones. Testes start producing testosterone, and ovaries start producing estrogen and progesterone. Progesterone is mainly during pregnancy, produced during pregnancy. Okay, so mainly estrogen is responsible for the changes during the reproductive stage, that means puberty. Okay. And the action of this testosterone, or the release of this testosterone and estrogen, is controlled by another hormone which is secreted by pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is an endocrine gland, and it secretes luteinizing hormone. So that luteinizing hormone controls the action of ovaries and the testes. Okay, and it regulates the release of sperms by testes, and release of testosterone by testes, and release of estrogen by ovary. That is regulated by this LH, luteinizing hormone. Okay. And also there are some glands, the development of mammary glands inside the breast occurs due to the action of this hormones. Okay, so and we know that the development of sex hormones during this period leads to the secondary sexual characteristics that appears in males and females. So that is responsible by the action of hormones. Hormones play the vital role in the features secondary sexual characters. And then coming to the reproductive maturity, that means in which stage the male and female are reproducingly able, or up to which stage they are able to reproduce, like that we are going to discuss. For females, we know that during the age of 10 to 12 years, they attain sexual maturity. They are capable of reproducing. Okay. And up to 45 to 50 years only, that production of ovum, release of ovum takes place in females. That means they are reproducingly able up to the age of 45 to 50 years. And coming to males, they are the age in which they start producing the sperms will be around 14 to 15 years, and it persists till the person is healthy. For male, there is no particular limit for age. They have the ability to produce sperms, or they are having the ability to reproduce up to the person healthy. Okay, so this is about the difference between the reproductive phase of male and female. And coming to the next most important topic of this chapter, that is menstrual cycle. As we have already studied that the human females produces hundreds of eggs when they born itself. Even a girl child have hundreds of eggs in the ovary. So when the girl attains sexual maturity, that means when the girl is at the stage of puberty, in every month, in every 28-30 days gap, the ovaries start releasing ovum. Mature ovum is released, or egg is released from the ovary. And that sexual phase, this is a sexual phase in human female, and that phase of producing ovum from the ovary is called ovulation. Okay. And this is the menstrual cycle. Ovulation is a process in menstrual cycle. It is a sexual cycle in female, and during this menstrual cycle, during this menstrual period, the ovaries start releasing mature ova. One of the ovary, we know that there are two ovaries in females. So either this ovary or this ovary. From one of the ovary, there releases one mature ova in every 30 days gap. And that process of releasing ova or egg from the ovary is called ovulation. Ovulation. What is meant by ovulation? The release of ovum or egg from the ovary is called ovulation. Okay. And that released ovum. 1 minute. Yes. So if the ovum is released from this ovary, that will move through what? Yes, through the fallopian tube, and it reaches the fallopian tube. If this is the ovum or egg, it reaches the fallopian tube. At that time of ovulation, there occurs some changes in the uterus wall. Okay, uterus wall gets thickened and it becomes spongy during ovulation period or during menstrual cycle. During ovulation period, the wall of uterus become thick and spongy, and numerous blood vessels will be arises there in order to supply more blood. Okay, so all these changes are occurring during the ovulation period, and if the sexual intercourse happens, the sperms will move through vagina and it reaches the ovum. The sperms will reaches the ovum, and there occurs inside the fallopian tube, there occurs the fertilization. Okay, fertilization, and leads to the formation of what? Formation of zygote. I repeat once again. After ovulation, the ova or egg is released into the fallopian tube, and if the sexual intercourse takes place, the sperm will enter through the vagina and reaches the fallopian tube. Okay, and inside the fallopian tube, the sperm and egg will fuse together to form what? Zygote. And zygote will develops to embryo, and that embryo is implanted. We know that it is implanted into the uterus wall. It is embedded in the uterus wall. That is called implantation, right? So, and that phase is the pregnancy phase that leads to the pregnancy in females. Okay, that leads to the pregnancy. And so this is one condition. And if there is no intercourse takes place, okay, if there is no sexual intercourse takes place, what will happen? The sperms will not reach there. So what will happen to the egg or ova is, it will releases along with the disintegration of uterus, because there is no embedding of zygote is needed. So there is no usage of this thickened wall here. No nourishment is needed to provide to the embryo. So that there is no need of this thickened wall here. So along with this ova, this uterus wall, both the walls get disintegrate along with the blood vessels, blood, mucus, etc. This wall will disintegrate and it is released through this vaginal opening of female. And that process is called a menstruation. Okay. So if there is no fertilization takes place, the ovum will get disintegrate along with the layer of the uterus wall, along with some mucus, blood that comes out as a bleeding through the vaginal opening. That is called a menstruation. It takes place in every 28-30 days gap. Okay, and after this menstrual cycle, after this menstruation, again the uterus starts developing the walls, because for the next time it needs to receive, it gets ready to receive the fertilized egg. Okay, for receiving the fertilized egg, it will get ready for the next time also. So it starts producing the walls again. So after 28 days, if there is no fertilization occurs, the same process is continued. Clear? And if there occurs the pregnancy, that means if there occurs the fertilization, the embryo will be implanted on the uterus wall, and that will lead to the development of the fetus and then the delivery. Okay, that is the pregnancy phase. So this is about the menstrual cycle. Clear? So if there is any doubt, you can ask me. So this is enough for today's class. Thank you.